Is this how your Brotherhood operates? You sneak around in the daylight, stabbing your victims where they stand.
Said like that, you make me blush. We are seekers of justice, shepherds of man's will. We work in the dark to serve the light.
Much of the appeal of a new Assassin's Creed game comes from exploring a new time period and setting. Taking place in 873, Assassin's Creed Valhalla puts you in the role of Viking protagonist Eivor and their adoptive brother Sigurd as they sail west from Norway to Anglo-Saxon England in search of new lands to settle. It's a gorgeous game to break in the new consoles, and it's an absolutely massive adventure filled with raids, stories, and songs.
Tonight we are family again. The here and now is what matters. Our kinship, our clan, our glory.
After planting roots in an abandoned camp in Mercia, Eivor and Sigurd set out to form strategic alliances with neighboring kingdoms to secure their future and protect their budding settlement. Forging each alliance in England is presented in mostly self-contained narrative arcs that allow for a variety of different stories and scenarios. Installing puppet kings, rooting out traitors, sacking towns, and assassinating targets to further your political gains helps differentiate each alliance in a memorable way. Valhalla's overly long runtime threatens to undermine some of the impact, as repetition and routine eventually sink in, but in the end, the payoffs and revelations are worth it. Joining the siblings on their mission are Basim and Hytham, hidden ones who unknowingly pull Eivor into their fight against the Order of the Ancients, assassins and Templars respectively. Eivor's first loyalty is to the Raven clan, however, and this dichotomy puts them in an intriguing position as the plot moves forward. Loyalty is a key element of Valhalla, whether it's to the gods, family, or new alliances, and making key decisions helps shape Eivor in your image. The modern-day storyline continues its focus on Abstergo employee-turned-assassin Layla Hassan, introduced in Assassin's Creed Origins. We won't spoil anything, but the series is fully committed to its long-standing mythology. It can be convoluted, but lore-obsessed fans should enjoy connecting the dots of the past while looking forward to the future. Norway and Anglo-Saxon England are vast and beautiful. Snowy mountains, lush forests, and rolling hills are a delight to traverse, with plenty of optional secrets to uncover. Each zone has a recommended power level and tracks 3 types of objectives: wealth, mysteries, and artifacts. Wealth refers to books of knowledge that grant new abilities and rare treasure chests that contain crafting materials, unique armor, and weapons. Some of the chests are easy to reach, but many of them require you to complete brief platforming puzzles or to destroy hidden walls. Sometimes the chests are locked and require keys obtained from guards or surrounding areas, further contributing to a sense of accomplishment when you finally reap the rewards. Fully upgrading a weapon or a piece of armor takes a lot of resources, which makes obtaining them feel more important, but it also forces you to commit to a desired set for more efficiency, limiting the amount of experimentation. Mysteries offer smaller side missions and activities like stacking rocks to build a cairn, hunting legendary animals, fighting elite Vikings, and engaging in sharp-witted wordplay in fighting duels. Completing these tasks yields different rewards like skill points, settlement decorations, and gear, as well as charisma, which is used in specific conversations sprinkled throughout the game. The side missions offer an extraordinary amount of variety. Sneaking or stabbing often plays a role, but the scenarios and stories vary considerably, helping to make each one feel substantial. These missions don't track in the quest log, encouraging you to examine your surroundings instead of blindly following objective markers. Artifacts, meanwhile, are minor collectibles like tattoo designs and Roman relics that can be traded for rewards at your settlement. Additionally, there are cursed areas that can be cleansed by destroying nearby totems, and treasure maps that lead to more customization options for Eivor and their longship. Between gear, new abilities, interesting side stories, and delivering artifacts to your settlement, there's always a distraction to get lost in. It's effortless and rewarding to move between these side activities and the main mission seamlessly, especially when the progression of each overlaps. One of the core foundations of this 100-hour adventure is Eivor's settlement, Ravensthorpe. Narratively, it offers a place to rest and bond with members of the Raven clan through conversations and additional side quests that can pop up while walking around. Most importantly, Gunnar the Blacksmith is the only person who can increase the rarity of gear, while Hytham's Hidden Ones Bureau tasks you with eliminating order targets and recovering hidden codex pages. There are also huts focused on fishing and hunting, as well as Valka the Seer, who has her own magnificent surprises. Completing raids rewards you with supplies and resources to construct new buildings, increasing the settlement's level, which unlocks additional opportunities like erecting houses for other members of your crew. Returning home after a lengthy time away is a comforting feeling, and forging relationships by catering to the needs of the Raven clan is equally satisfying.
I am better than any man here!
You have much to learn.
Combat is similar to Origins and Odyssey, but with a few important changes. Managing stamina is the most important factor, as heavy attacks and dodges deplete the gauge. Eivor is proficient with bows and a variety of melee weapons like axes, flails, and spears that can be mixed and matched through dual wielding. Parrying or shooting enemy weak points opens them up for brutal counterattacks, while knocking them to the ground opens an excellent chance to kick the crap out of them. Even on very hard, Valhalla isn't a difficult game. Enemies are color-coded depending on their difficulty, and it's easy to get well past a region's recommended power level, ensuring you have an advantage during most fights. Successful attacks grant adrenaline, which can be used to activate special abilities like poisoned weapons or leaping attacks. The abilities are fun to experiment with, but the easy difficulty makes them superfluous. The stiff enemy AI is mostly to blame, as enemies are incredibly predictable, seemingly unable to do much more than strafe back and forth between attacks. Stealth plays a slightly more central role than in the last few games, but it still isn't necessary. You can raise and lower your hood at will, which makes you harder to spot, and you can blend in with townspeople or hire drunkards as distractions. Most enemies can be easily eliminated with a hidden blade, while stronger ones require careful timing for a lethal critical strike. While sneaking around can technically make some moments easier, carving your way through with a sturdy axe is usually much faster. Thankfully, the enemy variety keeps combat fresh for dozens of hours, and more than 20 types are slowly doled out. Each has unique attacks and countermeasures, but brute forcing through them always gets the job done. In spite of the easy difficulty, decimating foes with your hard-earned skills and gear is still satisfying. Grisly decapitations, impalements, and enemies getting burned alive are all visually arresting, while the occasional boss fights force you to pay more attention.
We need an epic tale.
Rivers flow through much of England, so when climbing, swimming, or horseback riding don't fit your needs, Eivor's longship can navigate the narrow waters. The ship isn't as essential as in Black Flag, since it's primarily used for raids and assaults, most of which are optional. Raids have Eivor summoning their crew to attack a settlement and loot supplies, which can be used to upgrade Ravensthorpe. The first few raids offer some frantic moments as townspeople flee and your crew battles against enemies side by side. However, the novelty begins to wear thin as nothing differentiates one raid from another. Additionally, you need the help of an ally to open the large treasure chests, but it can be annoying when the AI doesn't know how to reach you. Assaults are a little more intense than raids, and have you and your fellow Vikings pushing a battering ram through a fortified base. Arrows and fire rain down while enemies swarm from all sides, adding a sense of chaos to these large-scale battles. The spectacle is there if you don't look too deep, but once again, the stiff enemy AI doesn't know how to deal with the anarchy, and they can periodically be found just standing around. We tried Valhalla on 3 different Xboxes. The base Xbox One runs the game well enough, but the visuals are muted and blurry when compared to the Xbox One X. The Series X targets 60 frames per second and features extremely fast load times. Visual fidelity is improved across the board on Series X, but Xboxes from both generations suffer from an unfortunate amount of screen tearing that's hard to ignore. A game of this scale doesn't come without some bugs either, and we encountered a couple crashes and witnessed some floating enemies. Over the course of nearly 100 hours, nothing truly hindered progression, but some achievements were broken, which can be particularly frustrating.
A good story, Holger, but I hear the voice of Styrbjörn in it.
A wise skald takes his words from the gods, and his orders from the king.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla further refines the RPG style of Origins and Odyssey and their enormous worlds. Addictive progression and an engaging story tie everything together in meaningful ways, but the bloated length almost ruins the impact of the story, while lackluster AI causes combat to wear thin. Still, England and Norway are breathtakingly beautiful, with an outrageous amount of things to discover and unique tales to tell. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to see our other videos, and consider becoming a patron to help us make more.